How do I choose old or the new? Black or the blue? I think till I bruise. How do I choose? What will it prove?
Hey everybody, just caught the new Predator movie, the new entry in the series. It's the prequel of the bunch. I just wanted to give you my thoughts. So it was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who did, prior to this, 10 Cloverfield Lane. He did a really great job with that movie. I mean, the most unfortunate thing about that movie is that it's tied to the Cloverfield franchise, which I think is kind of a disjointed, forced mess. You know, the first movie was a really good found footage movie, and then 10 Cloverfield Lane was a great, tight, suspenseful thriller that didn't really need that end twist. But it does, and we have the twist. The entire film, though, was just executed perfectly, especially when considering it was a debut feature film. The director, Dan Trachtenberg, had done shorts prior to this. If I'm remembering correctly, because I do remember hearing about this, he had done a short film off of the video game Portal back in the day. The reason I know that is because I used to watch a little show prior to 2010. I don't remember what year it ended. I was very, very upset when it ended, but I would watch it religiously. It was called The Totally Rad Show.
Rad dudes with nothing better to do get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise to The Totally Rad Show.
It was Dan Trachtenberg and his two friends, and they would review and play video games, review movies. They would do this thing where they would rank movies on Flickchart. It was just a really fun show. It was one of the first experiences I had with just friends getting together and appreciating movies. And he was the aspiring filmmaker of the bunch. And the show ended. I don't know if the show ended because he was just like, oh, it's time. I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna try to become a director, and I can't do this. I can't juggle it. I can't remember exactly, or if they even gave a reason why it ended. But I'll always remember Dan Trachtenberg from The Totally Rad Show, and it was great. So I've been following his career ever since, and it pleases me so much to see him knock it out of the park time and time again. He does it again here. And this one is a prequel. It's based around a Native American tribe. This girl who's trying to be respected and acknowledged as a hunter when she's supposed to know her place and, you know, do what the other women in the tribe do. And she's just like, no, I want to go out and I want to go hunt with the boys or whatever. I want to be a hunter. Why should it matter what gender I am? And that's the movie, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I see a lot of people busting on it for that. Also, like it being like, I guess, a girl power thing, when in reality, she's not even the first female protagonist in a Predator film. There was a female in the first Predator movie. She wasn't the main lead, but she was in that. Maria Conchita Alonso was a badass in Predator 2. Alien vs. Predator, it's in the Predator franchise. The main protagonist is a female, an African-American female lead who partners up with the Predator at the end, and she's like I believe she's a soldier, or she's definitely toting a gun by the end. Like there's really not much different going on here. The series also goes full circle because there was one of the soldiers in the first movie was a Native American, and it tied in perfectly. So it was like foreshadowing to this movie. So this movie is also very, very appropriate in the franchise, I thought. And as far as the beginning of the movie goes, as soon as I saw the date on the screen when this movie was taking place, I just knew that they were going to tie it into the end of Predator 2, when Danny Glover mysteriously is handed the musket, the gun by the Predator, and it says that date on it, and it says the dude's name. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh wow, this would be so easy for them to just like tie this in. Obviously it's not going to be that important to the plot, but it's going to be a really awesome Easter egg, and they did do it. I've also heard some talk about the CGI animals. I actually don't mind the CGI animals. I think they were fine. They weren't the worst CGI animals I've ever seen. And I prefer them to use computer-generated animals than real animals, because that means to me that real animals were not being harmed. It's just not necessary to use real animals in movies anymore, to endanger them, regardless of how much we want to believe that they like performing in the circus and they love being movie stars. They don't care about these things. We care about these things. This is a kind of our silly little thing that we love. They have other priorities. And whenever you see an animal on screen or being trained to do this and that, they're doing it for the food. They're not doing it because they love being actors, you know. So yeah, so I had no problem with that, and I actually thought it looked great because it didn't have the biggest budget. This movie, the bear looked great. The rabbit looked great. There were some scenes in this movie where they incorporate the animals that I thought were amazing. Like the snake, and the snake eats the rat or the mouse, whatever it was, and then the predator kills the snake, and it was like circle of life over and over again. We're seeing this, the wolf chasing the rabbit, and the predator gets the wolf. I love that stuff. I was like, wow, I'm not used to seeing this in these predator movies that are just, basically most of them are just like fun action movies. But they kind of tried to, there were some really like real art film moments in this movie that I really appreciated. There is actually, I said about the CGI animals earlier, there is one trained animal in this, and they did come out and say that this animal was a rescue and trained for the movie at the same time. Was not a trained actor dog, but became one for the movie, which I thought was a cool story. I think if you're going to have a trained animal, and just the fact that they came out and said that to put people at ease was like, okay, yeah. So you could tell that they were very, very conscious of animals and the way they've been treated in movies in Hollywood over the years. And I thought that was really cool. I found that on a vegan Facebook page. They had said that little factoid. And that was great. And the dog, just knowing that that's the first time the dog ever did anything like that. I mean, I heard he was a nightmare to work with, or a she, I think. I can't remember. But animals are most of the time not a nightmare to work with on film sets. They say to never work with animals or kids. That's like the big thing. It's like, don't do that, you know. And that they did that. He did that, Dan Trachtenberg, and all the people who worked on this movie, and they did an amazing job. That's another thing to be extremely proud of. The dog is very charming. In fact, I heard that the original cut had a lot less dog, and then the test audiences loved the dog so much they went back and reshot more dog scenes. It's like, more dog, please, and now we have more dog. But the dog has a nice, happy home and is being well cared for and looked after. So I hear. And I would love to believe that, and I do believe that. The cast is great. It features mostly actors. There's one, the actor who played the brother was not an actor before this. He was in a band, and they loved his look. And so they cast him in the movie. And for this being his debut acting experience, I thought it was great. And he said he wants to continue acting and doing the music at the same time. And I think that's another great story that I heard about this movie. You could just tell that this movie was made with the ultimate care and love and respect for the franchise. And I know that because I used to watch the Totally Rad show, and I know how much these guys loved movies, and Dan Trachtenberg was one of the dudes. And in fact, I remember hearing them talk about the Predator movies on that show. And so I just knew, anytime I hear that somebody like Dan Trachtenberg is going to be given the reins to a franchise like this, I am put at ease knowing that that this is going to be good. Everything's going to be all right. We can rest. It's going to be great. And here we go yet again. It's great. It is somebody who understands cinema, who is just like, for a second film, this is amazing. And every time this guy comes out with a movie, everyone freaks out over it. There's no reason why this guy can't be the next, I don't know. I mean, I don't like to throw names out like that. I'm not going to say like Steven Spielberg but whatever, you know, a guy who's just like highly regarded, just knocks it out of the park every time. There's some directors who do that, who are known to do that. He's, 0-2, you know? Hey, it's not too bad. One more thing I'll bring up that I've heard people talk about and we're ragging on the movie about is the axe weapon. I just thought that was so cool to have a character have her own unique weapon. She's the only one in the tribe that thought to tie a rope to it in order to make her hunting easier and her axe throwing practice easier. And I thought that was so cool and said so much about her character. And the fact that they implemented into the action scenes was just so awesome. You don't see that a lot anymore. So characters having a unique weapon to them. And I mean, I know it was just like an axe with a string tied to it, but it worked. And I don't care about the logic. I don't care if it would work in real life. It looks good. These are movies. It's cinema. It's what it's about. It's about the popcorn. It's about the fun times. It's about, show me something that's not real. Show me something that I can't do. Show me something that I've never seen before. Because that's what movies are really about. This movie delivers. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Don't be afraid to check it out. Don't listen to the negativity out there. Watch it. Make up your own, make your own opinion up. I'm pretty sure I'm talking to no one now, because it's like everybody is watching this movie. It's on Hulu, and so many people have Hulu. And if they don't have Hulu, they're finding other ways to watch it, because there's a lot of people watching this movie. So, and good for you for thinking for yourself and experiencing new art, and good for them making this movie, the filmmakers behind it, making an enjoyable movie. We need movies that will unite us and just make us feel good, and bring us back to that time where going to the movies was fun, and especially for a streamer, a movie that's on made for a streaming service, which again, I don't know why. I've heard people say that too, and I don't know either why it wasn't theatrically released, because it's definitely good enough to be released into a theater. I mean, some of the shots in this movie seem to have been designed for that big screen. But since it was released direct to streaming, it is amazing. It's definitely one of the greatest direct to streaming movies I've ever seen. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Thanks so much for listening. Have a good one.